This year marks a year since the ignition lock law went into effect. Hawaii was one of the last states to pass legislation that allows drivers caught driving drunk to use devices that can detect alcohol in their system. Good evening, I'm Paula Akana. Some revealing numbers on the use of the interlock ignition devices across the state. KITV4's Catherine Cruz gives us a snapshot of how many times drivers were prevented from getting on the road because alcohol was detected on their breath.
There was much fanfare during the official kickoff about how a breathalyzer hooked up to a car's ignition could make Hawaii's roads safer. Now, a year later, 1,100 people who've been caught driving under the influence of alcohol have had the opportunity to get behind the wheel legally.
We're very pleased with the number. We think it shows how the system and the program has been accepted in this community.
Most of the ignition interlocks were installed here on Oahu, 675 cases, followed by Maui with 212, the Big Island with 180, and 40 on Kauai. There were none on Molokai and Lanai. But look at these numbers provided by the vendor Smart Start on how often the locks were triggered. There were 4,237 times that engine starts were actually prevented.
So 4,200 times the public has been saved, if you want to look at it that way, from having an alcohol-impaired driver on the road.
And while the original intent of the law was to include repeat offenders, a conflict with the new law and the old DUI law excluded them this first year. McNamee says repeat offenders make up about a third of the people arrested for drunk driving, a very sobering fact. Most of those motorists caught driving drunk have had their licenses revoked.
Sometimes people will drive on a revoked license, and that's the danger. So we want these repeat offenders also to have the opportunity to drive legally and safely if they qualify.
A fix, McNamee hopes, will happen this session.
So how does Hawaii stack up with other states in this first year? Well, McNamee says we probably need more time and data to see if the program has successfully prevented crashes and fatalities. But she says Hawaii is off to a pretty good start. Back to you.
All right.